Hey guys, shout out to those that have lost their dads. Father's Day is rough. If your dad's gone. And what did we do this year? Every day or every year kind of fluctuates. I think this is year 5 or the 5th year, the 5th Father's Day without their dad. So I just check in with them a couple days before and ask them like, hey, what are you feeling up to? Do you want to go to church? Most of the time they say no. That's their get out of church free card is Father's Day. And we just say, do you want to go to the zoo? Do you want to go to breakfast? Do you want to go to lunch? Every year they've chose to go to the grave. My kids grieve differently. So, this year, Niska didn't go with us to the grave, so it was me and the boys, and we went to a movie. That was fun, and met Clint's parents over at the grave, and it was so cute. When we were there, Wyatt whipped out he had a Polaroid from Christmas, so he whipped out of his pocket. He took a Polaroid of himself today, and he wrote on it, "I love you, Dad." And then Clint loved York peppermint patties, like chocolate and mint, anything with chocolate and mint. So I usually try to get a couple of those the week of Father's Day or his birthday, and then they put those on his gravestone. And then we just stood there for a while and, just started to cry. And let's see, I think last year we might have watched, the boys wanted to watch some like YouTube videos of their dad talking at the graveside. We've lit off lanterns before, like the ones that float up in the sky. So, and then went out to dinner, and now we're home. So we'll probably take the dog on a walk. I went and visited my dad, their grandpa, which they love and have a good relationship with him. And, yeah, it was cute. We were, out and about this week, going to the arcade, Nickel Mania or something like that. Anyway, the cute neighbor girls, they're the cutest little neighbor girls across the street, and they have watched our dog for us when we were in Chicago. And they wouldn't take any money. So I'm like, hey, we're going to lunch. We're going to the dollar store. We're going to Nickelcade, so we just had a fun afternoon. And I was kind of dreading Nickelcade. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so long and take forever. But like me and Gunner, like we totally just started playing like partner games together and had so much fun. We like scored top 10 in this game, and we're like jonesing to go back and get higher in the top 10. So it was fun. But anyway, I was looking for Father's Day cards at the dollar store because I'm like, you guys all have $5, get whatever you want, so they were looking. So I just started perusing the cards and thinking about getting a card for my dad, for Clint's dad. And then Gunnar comes over and he started looking, and he picked up a stepdad card, and he was like, hey, should I get this for Todd? And I'm just like, it kind of took me by surprise, and I was like, I don't know, if you want to. Like, Todd's been my boyfriend the last year and a half, and just has such a golden heart, and he's an incredible person, and laughs with the boys a lot, and really pays attention to them and their needs. And anyway, that was special to kind of see, the wheels in Gunner's head turning, and it led me to think in everybody, even if mothers, fathers, male, female, we all have the power to influence and help those along their path. Like, here's Todd. He's, we're not married. And he's just an example. And it made Gunnar think of a father figure, uncles, cousins. Like, if you are a male and you don't think you matter because you don't have kids, like, you matter, and chances are there's somebody that looks up to you on Father's Day, and they might not say it, but and if you don't feel that and you don't think that, and maybe that's not true, look at the power you have to influence lives of those that don't have dads. And likewise for moms, or females, whatever whatever you identify with, gender wise, like you choose to be an influence for somebody. And when they're missing that person, you can step in and help heal their soul a little bit, but just by your example. And just because you didn't birth them doesn't mean that they don't think of you on Mother's Day or on a Father's Day. Anyway, it was pretty special. I liked, it was a good feeling because, when somebody passes away, everybody's there, right? 3 months, and 6 months go by, and then everybody kind of goes back to their normal lives. And, my boys and Niska, my daughter, like life doesn't ever go back normal for them, like they never have their dad there to do special things with them. And it, has led me to be frustrated a little bit. And I need to give more grace to my amazing family, because, everybody just gets enthralled and busy in their lives. And it's like, wow, what an impact though, when you reach out to those that don't have a dad to do a dad-like thing with them. Gunnar would give anything to be able to weightlift or talk weights or football with a father figure. And I think that's, he's been connecting with Todd on that level. My boyfriend and Wyatt, what would he give for, a dad to play basketball with him out front, or an uncle to take him fishing, because so I guess, I hope the takeaway is if what power you have, to influence those around you that don't have moms or dads. You just, or maybe they're displaced and there's a relationship rift, like we can be God's hands for each other and angels for each other and help each other along the path. And it was good to see that, to just see the flip side of both of it, right? Like I can see my kids longing for it, and how it would be amazing if, a little bit goes a long way, whether it's a ride to get a soda or whatever, like just reach out to the kids, I guess, that have lost a parent, and you have a lot of power and influence to help them fill a void. And anyway, did Gunnar get Todd a card? He didn't. I said, well, Todd's in Panama. He's been on a trip with his brothers. There's 9 kids in his family. They're from California, and he has 6 brothers and 2 sisters. So a bunch of the brothers went on like this big jam-packed adventure thing for a couple weeks. So Todd's out of town, and so Gunnar decided not to get him a card. But anyway, it was sweet. And again, I'm thinking of you if, this is a tender day for you. And I'm also thinking of, if it's not a tender day for you, think of the impact you could have in helping those, all year round, just to be that figure. You don't have to be their dad to be somebody that has influence and power in their life. And same with females, we all have a power to, to help and help each other on our paths. So anyway, I'm like, glad, these kind of anniversaries and holidays bring to the forefront of our minds the loss, right? And it just makes it harder to kind of, not that I ignore it, but it's, as the years have gone by, it's not like right in front of my face so much all the time. So it's, it's a lot of, and I told a friend of mine, we went to dinner last night. She was struggling with her grief. Her husband passed away and died by suicide, and she's been having some issues. So anyway, so sweet. And I took her we went to dinner last night, and it was just like, girl, I get it. I understand. And you're totally normal. And she's wondering why she's coming apart, and I'm like, you are totally normal, and I teach a 6-week grief course, and I do grief mentoring and for my career. And I just was like, this is totally normal. If you feel like you have it all together, and then all of a sudden you're falling apart the week of a holiday or a birthday, that is normal. Like, there's anxiety, there's stress, and leading up to holidays and the day of the holiday. Like, go gentle on yourself, be easy on yourself, only give what you can give, and give yourself grace. If you don't feel like doing the traditional thing, don't. You know, like, in my family, we go to church on Sundays. Like, there's no negotiation, and we don't. I give us grace on that, on Father's Day. You know, like, give yourself grace to do what you need to do to grieve and honor your loss. So anyway, love you. Hope you guys have a good week. Thinking of you. Bye.